Umpire Pratt holds the ball aloft. We're underway in the first term with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton on Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. Up they go. Cripps gets the best of it, knocks at the ground. A player there has the ball held to him, and the umpire will come quickly in and throw the ball up straight away. So the ball will throw the ball up. Comes the way of Josh Cripps. Josh Cripps goes the way. Josh Cripps goes the way. And once again the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. So we've played 20 seconds. Ball hasn't moved out of the centre. It has 3 ruck contests, a bit of pushing and shoving. Umpire goes back, throws it up. Cripps straps it forward, goes the way of Schofield. Schofield handballs it back. Once again, this time Northampton go forward. Goes the way of Tyler Caddy. The hard-working ruck rover gets it up towards half forward. Goes the way of Sippler. Sippler goes back with a handball. Goes the way of Svensson. Svensson in his 100th game gets it up the ground and gets it the way of the player there for Brigades and Caden Dan.
Dan down on the wing. He finds Perham. It's Henry Perham at centre wing, right in front of our broadcast position for Radio Mama. Perham's been a great player for Brigades this year. He sends it into the half-forward area. Mark is taken by his brother. Perham plays on to Perham, down into the full-forward area. Up go the Northampton defenders, but it's Brigades at the base of the pack that come through. As they go forward, it's Ryder who puts it through into the corridor. It's picked up now by the Northampton defence, who ricocheted back down the middle. The ball runs free. Who'll run onto it? It's Simpson that's first to do it for the Rams. He needs a lead. The lead is a good one, and it's Harry Taylor, and he marks in front of the scoreboard.
The Active West Real Estate scoreboard. No scoreboard pressure at the moment. 1.5 minutes gone in this first term with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. Pack develops. Umpire giving it an opportunity to come out. Eventually it comes out. Northampton player got rid of the ball unceremoniously. So Brigades take the advantage, and Kim Schofield, the captain for the Hawks, gets the ball up the ground to brother Jaden. Jaden Schofield kicks it from centre wing up towards half forward, and he finds a Northampton player there, and that player is Michael Wright. He feeds it on to a defender who brings it back towards the centre. Kim Schofield's there again, kicks it up towards full forward, looking there for a Brigades player. Northampton defenders working hard, trying to get the ball out of defence. A ball eventually comes out, comes away, whistle on play, and the umpire's seen a free kick. Will go the way of Northampton defence, and that is Jack McKee.
Jack McKee down the middle of the ground. He finds Williams. Williams plays on now. Cripps in the middle of the ground, the big ruckman. A nice little handball to Caddy. Caddy, the teacher from Calbarry, sends it into the half-forward area. Up goes Harry Taylor, up into the air. Couldn't take the mark. Comes off hands, goes toward the boundary. Running in is a 100 gamer. He picks it up and kicks it to the outer side in Svensson. Svensson for Brigades. Moves into space. A free kick has been found though, and it goes the way of the Brigades player. Brigades now on the half-back flank. They kick to the outer side, holding sway somewhat at centre wing. They send it inboard now. Not a good kick, but doesn't meet the intended target. Going the way now of the player in Perham. Perham moving in now. Henry Perham puts it onto his boot into the full forward area. Up goes a couple of players. Williamson is there. He can't take the mark. The ball spills free. Is it picked up in the end by the youngster in Sandy? He is unable to do so. The ball comes out again, and a nice mark is taken by Isaac Ronan. Isaac Ronan gives it away now to the speedster in Jack Dashcamp. Dashcamp sends it in now, and there is a nice mark as he runs through. It looks like it is a beautiful mark taken in the end, and that mark is taken by the player Fraser Ishmael. Now Fraser is a pretty good goal sneak, Glenn. He's going to kick from about 45 metres out on a, well, pretty severe angle you would think, but he looks pretty good from here, from where we are sitting. So Fraser Ishmael kicking toward the southern end, looks pretty good off the boot. It's the first goal of the afternoon. Ishmael scores for Brigades, and they go to one straight goal. And Peter, they lead Northampton just no score at all. But into
Geraldton, and on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard, Brigades are 1 goal and Northampton yet to score. Ball back in the centre. Once again, Cripps slaps it to the ground to Williams. Williams by hand to Jupp. Jupp puts it on his left boot, goes towards half forward. looking there for Trent Simpson. Ball comes out and a whistle on play, and a Northampton player caught in possession. That player was Jaden Paletti. So the free kick will go the way of Clay Sippler, one of the most consistent players in the Hawks lineup. Goes with another short pass and picks out Henry Perham, one of the biggest possession gatherers on the ground to this stage. Henry Perham, who's had a marvellous year for the Hawks, kicks the ball from half back, kicks it up towards centre wing, back into the air, but the only man that was going to mark that was Josh Cripps, the big ruckman for the Northampton
Turned
side.
21 this week, Glenn, did Josh Cripps, so he's got a fair few years to go yet as he kicks it into the half-forward area, looking to try and take the mark. Is Paletti, is unable to do so, finds a sanctuary the boundary though, and the ball rolls over the white line right in front of our broadcast position. So at the moment, one straight goal to Brigades, no score yet to Northampton in the second semi-final for 2023. This is Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. The boundary umpire throws it in. It's a nice big throw. Up they go. Cripps knocks it down to ground. Drupp tries to run onto it, but it's Brigades who do the better through Dashcamp. Dashcamp gets it out to the outer side. It's picked up now by Schofield. He can do some magic. Jaden Schofield. He kicks it into the half-forward area looking for Sandy. Sandy runs onto the ball. The bounce is kind. It goes one way then the other. Puts a nice little chip pass inboard, and he finds Kim Schofield.
Kim Schofield with those pink boots plays on quickly up towards full forward. Looking there for Dale Williamson. Ball knocked away. Picked up now by the Northampton player, but a player was interfered with. And in fact, the ball isn't interfered with. The ball comes up along the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw-in here at Eden Clark in front of a bigger crowd here at GBSC Sports Park. And the boundary umpire will throw the ball back in just in front of the club rooms here at Brigades. Ball to be thrown in. Breeze favouring the end to which Northampton are kicking in this first term. We've played 6 minutes and Northampton have hardly had the ball in their forward 50. Goes away now of Jack Cripps. Cripps gets it upfield, looking there for some movement, but once again Clay Sippler's there. Gives it away to the player there and Isaac Ronan. Ronan turns the ball over and gives it again to Josh Cripps.
Josh Cripps on the half-back flank, sends it down the wing now. Players setting themselves. Who can take the mark? At the back of the pack is the player there in Jack Cripps. He's unable to do so. In fact, it was Kingsley Smith who moved into the player. Moved him out of the road. Didn't have prior opportunity. The ball goes to Sippler now for Brigades. He goes further afield. The ball on the far side, the golf club side of GBSC Sports Park. It's with Schofield now. Jaden Schofield, he sends it down the wing. Almost at centre wing, the mark is taken. The ball continues with Brigades as they go down that far side of the ground. Can they set something up? They have the first score on the board this afternoon. They start to straighten things up as it comes inboard now, going the way of that player in Dashcamp. Dashcamp sends it inboard, goes to ground. Sandy, can he pick it up? The defender for Northampton working overtime, dives on top of the ball, but it's picked up by Williamson. He shoots on goal, does Dale Williamson. It bounces in front of the big sticks, goes to Jack Perham. He goes one way then the other, sells the dummy. The ball goes to ground. Players dive on top of each other. The ball spills free, and they relieve the pressure to the defenders for Northampton.
Braden Jupp gets it up the ground, picks out a teammate there, and Kai McVie. Kai McVie on half-back, goes out wide, finds Jupp again. Braden Jupp, the captain for Northampton, kicks it up towards the centre of the ground. Brigades have 2-1. Brigades should win, and they do. Goes the way of the Brigades player there in Drew McGregor. Short pass, picks out a teammate in Hayden Johnson. Johnson comes right across the ground, and running with the flight of the ball is Clay Sippler. Sippler plays on quickly, gets it up the ground, finds Caden Dan. Caden Dan on half forward, kicks it in towards the forward pocket, looking there for Ryder, finds that player, and Ryder has marked deep in the right forward pocket and has an opportunity to kick the ball forward. So Ryder is deep in the right forward pocket, about 35 metres out from goal, right on the boundary line.
Hard to kick from there, Glenn.
A very difficult kick, but he's a clever
fancy
player
himself, isn't he?
He's a very clever player. Let's see how he goes, and let's see how Christopher Ryder goes. The super forward for the Brigades side, a very good opportunist, kicks the ball awkwardly on his left boot and out of bounds on the full. So it's an awkward one, and the ball will be brought back in by the Northampton defence. So the Northampton defender, Jared Woodcock, with the ball to bring the ball back into play.
Bit dry up the forward end for Josh Kennedy at the moment, Pete.
So far, yeah.
The ball coming out of defence now. Northampton, Harry Taylor's gone down to get a sniff. He goes up, he gets it on the second attempt, puts it onto his boot, but it then goes toward the boundary. So it is out on the full, is it? No? Yes, it is. So it eventually went out on the full. So free kick going the way now of the player for Brigades. Svensson, the 100 gamer. He's coming down the ground as a defender. Nice kick inside the corridor. Up they go. Northampton get their mitts to it first. Goes to ground. It's picked up by the player there for the Rams, and Aidan Bortolo, who's quickly set upon. And the umpire goes in to throw the ball up just south of the centre square.
Umpire puts the ball into the air. The big fellas go at it. This time Hayden Johnson has best of it. Goes to Schofield. Goes to Bachman. He gives it away to McGregor. McGregor kicks it up towards full forward. Ball running free. Northampton player could have run through. He didn't. Taylor Green turns it around. Kicks it back towards half back. Gives Brigades another opportunity. Schofield, Jaden gets a kick forward. Finds brother Kim.
Got 15.
Got 15. He gets run down. Umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. And the umpire will throw it up. So
Jaden Schofield's hurting them. He's 6 possessions from half back.
And he certainly knows how to set things up, doesn't he? The ball going in now. It's knocked down by the ruckman for Brigades, but he's ricocheted back by Northampton inside the corridor, running in to try and collect it. Here's Sipler. He does well. He gets it into space. Going the way now of Drew McGregor, the two-time premiership player. Sends it into the half-forward area, looking for Sandy. The bounce goes one way, then the other. Sandy went the other way. The ball spills free. Going back the way now of Boakman. Boakman, serve me my hamburger in the canteen, Pete. He sends it into the half-forward area. Nice kick by Boakman. Up they go, but it's Harry Taylor, I think, who gets his mitts to it. Goes to ground. No one can get possession as it moves further inside the corridor. Northampton defence getting the best of the luck at the moment as the ball comes out, but a nice mark is taken by the youngster in Lewin Valley.
Yeah, good strong mark. Kicks the ball back, but it's turned over as Northampton have it through Jaden Paletti. Paletti gets the ball up towards half-forward, looking for the big man.
Well done.
In Josh Kennedy. Ball slapped away from him by Joel Patrick. Ball running free. In goes the Brigades player and Isaac Ronan. And Isaac Ronan was held there. The umpire didn't see that. And the boundary umpire will throw the ball back into play. It's 12 minutes gone in this first term with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton. And on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard, Brigades are 1 goal straight. Northampton yet to score. The ball has only been in the forward 50 about twice. Picked up now by Harry Taylor. Harry Taylor shoots on goal. Ball running free. Northampton players tackled, but a player was tackled high, and a free kick has been picked out by the umpire, and the Northampton player will get a free kick. So Jack Cripps will shoot on goal from 15 metres out on a 45-degree angle. So Jack Cripps gets the opportunity to get Northampton's first of the afternoon. Northampton kicking with at least a 2-goal breeze at their back, favouring the Chapman River end. So Jack Cripps lining up for goal number 1 for him and goal number 1 for the Rams. So Jack Cripps is 25 metres out, 45-degree angle, shoots on goal. Northampton have their first. Jack Cripps has his first. And you're on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. It's 1 goal apiece on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard.
Getting a hug from Josh Kennedy after getting a goal. Not too many people would get that, would they, Pete, in the Great Northern, that's for sure.
I think as this game develops, I think you'll find the ruck with Josh Cripps will have a lot more impact. He's had a couple of good marks. As Glenn said before, he does take a good overhead mark. And if you have a look at Northampton's forward line, they have got a lot of height. So if they can get it in there, good opportunity.
And that also begs the question whether Brigades need to go down the middle at all, because height certainly is with Northampton today, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It is 1 straight goal each, 1 goal 6 to the Hawks and 1 goal 6 to Northampton. This is the second semi-final. Thanks for joining us. This particular quarter brought to you by Community Bank Geraldton, great supporters of our broadcast here for 2023. Back in the middle now, and it's Hayden Johnson who's moved into the rucking. Good to see him back, but the ball goes away of Northampton off the boot of Taylor Caddy into the half-forward area. Ronan runs onto it though for Brigades. He's dispossessed as Josh Kennedy moves in. Was he tackled high? He doesn't get anything from the umpire as usual. The ball goes toward the boundary, and we see it over the white line, and the ball be thrown in the half-forward area, or the full-forward area, I should say, for Northampton.
I think he was lucky not to get caught in possession. He threw the ball out one hand.
Beat the old West Coast supporter coming out there.
The ball comes back into play from the boundary throw-in. Goes the way of Hayden Johnson, who's lifted his work rate in the last few minutes. Goes the way of Kim Schofield. Kim Schofield kicks the ball very high. In goes Cripps, punches the ball towards the forward line. Picked up now by Kim Schofield. Goes the way of the Brigades player, was held while not in possession, and he'll take the free kick. Lewin Valley, very hard-working player, a player with a big future. Lewin Valley on a half-back flank for the Hawks. looking for some movement. Lewin Valley puts it on his left boot, kicks it up towards half forward, finds Graham Sandy.
Graham Sandy's had a few possessions early, Glenn. Certainly is a good link-up player for Brigades as he goes further afield into the half-forward area. He's looking for support in there. Does he find it in the end? A player who intended it for goes to ground. There are too many Northampton players to allow it out of that pack. And, well, the umpire lets it go on for a little bit longer than expected. And the ball will be thrown up just outside the forward 50 now for Brigades. Brigades kicking toward the southern end. They're kicking against about a 2 to 3 goal breeze, as Glenn indicated earlier. Ball back up into the air. It's knocked forward on this occasion by big player for Brigades, and here's a big conveyance. It's Tom Fleming. He gets a kick against him though, as he interfered with Braden Jupp, the captain for Northampton. He's wearing 17. The ball coming forward now goes away with Perham. Josh Kennedy comes through and pulls Perham down a little bit too late, and Perham will be the recipient of a free kick. Henry Perham.
I think Josh thinks he's playing off. He's on the wing.
Yeah, sitting into the half-forward area. Goes back the way. The Northampton defence starting to get a little bit of traction now as the ball comes down the middle of the ground. Comes off hands, goes to ground as they go further afield now. The ball goes away with Harrison Plusky. He in turn sends it further down the ground toward the end to which Northampton are kicking, but defence for Brigades wins out on this occasion as they go out under the scoreboard. And they're away now, and it looks like it's Schofield. I need more of him this afternoon, and he's a talented player, that's for sure. Schofield to Schofield, a bit like cracker to cracker as they send it inboard now. The ball is, or player is almost dispossessed of the ball as it goes to ground, and a free kick will go the way of that particular player. I think it's Jordan O'Brien.
Jaden Schofield.
Jaden Schofield, it was Jaden Schofield. He plays further afield now, down into the half-forward area. So Brigades on the outer side, the golf club side of the ground as they go forward now. Patrick gets it, he's quickly brought to ground, he sends it into space. Harrison King, in fact, it was, gets it to a teammate. He sees a lead, and the lead is quickly gobbled up by that player who ran down to get it. And I think it's Jack Perham, is it? He plays on now, and Fleming, in fact, into the half-forward area, and it's Schofield.
Did these boys do some Ks?
Tim Schofield has done a few Ks. He was only about a K back earlier on. He's a K forward now, and he'll have a shot on goal, Glenn.
So Kim Schofield, who's done a power of work along with his brother Jaden this afternoon. So Kim Schofield, deep in the left forward pocket, has an opportunity to screw one around, and a very important goal at the 18-minute mark. If he gets it, that he's hit the post and off hands for a minor score. So on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard, Brigades go to 1-17. They lead Northampton 1 goal straight as we've played 17.5 minutes in this first term, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton, as the Northampton defence bring the ball back in, looking there for Jamie Williams. He couldn't mark it, he goes back in to retrieve it. Ball comes back now, picked up by Brigades. Can they pick it up? It's a pretty hot footy, and the umpire said he had no prior opportunity, and umpire Steve Pratt, along with umpire Brian Baker and Brian Cohen, in control for the GNFL this afternoon. The ball is on half forward for Brigades. Brigades have had the majority of the ball so far in this game. Ball thrown up, goes the way of Northampton. A whistle on play. Advantage rule paid as Jamie Williams quickly kicks it up towards Josh Kennedy. Kennedy uses his strength and class, and Josh Kennedy takes a very good mark. So Josh Kennedy has the mark on the edge of the centre square. Plays on quickly, kicks it towards full forward. Looking there for Harry Taylor. Ball fades away to the left-hand side and goes out of bounds. There'll be a boundary throw-in about 15 metres around from the left point post at the Chapman River end of the ground here at GBSC Sports Park.
Josh Kennedy knows how to lead for a ball, and he showed it in his own classic way just then, taking a mark in front of the other player for Brigades and Svensson. The ball coming in now comes from the full forward area for Brigades. So go to ground. Northampton working hard. I should say full forward area for Northampton. Brigades defence working hard. The ball in the shadows of the goals. Hayden Johnson does well, gets it out of danger, kicks toward the boundary. It's picked up now by the player running through to collect it in Caden Dan. Dan runs out of a bit of tarmac, and the ball will be thrown in once again. So it is a tight affair here in the second semi-final. 7-6 in favour of Brigades as we head toward quarter time. The ball coming in now goes the way of Cripps. That's big Josh Cripps. A few Crippses out there today. Going the way of Williams.
They're all related, aren't they, Pete? Most of Northampton are related anyway.
As he is brought to ground is that player in Williamson, and the ball comes off his boot and is out on the full.
So the ball will be brought back in by Brigades. Clay Sipler working hard. Josh Kennedy stands the mark. And Clay Sipler has worked hard, as all the Brigades defenders have. And it's a really good contest here. Big crowd in attendance at GBSC Sports Park. If you want to see Josh Kennedy play, Harry Taylor play, head on down to Eden Clark Oval this afternoon. Whistle on play. Hayden Johnson pushed Josh Kennedy in the park. And now there's a 50-metre penalty.
Can't do that.
That was a very silly thing to do by the Brigades players. So all of a sudden, Northampton, who were 55 metres out from goal, are going to give Josh Cripps an easy shot on goal. And a bit of undisciplined play there from the Hawks. And Josh Cripps will certainly make them pay. So Josh Cripps is now directly in front, about 10 metres out when he kicks it. Probably not even that. 15 metres out now. And he shoots towards the Chapman River end. And Northampton have their second of the afternoon. On the Active West Real Estate scoreboard, Northampton are 2 goals straight, 12. They lead Brigades 1-1-7.
Listening to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. Big weekend of football here on Radio Mama, mama.net.au. This is the second semi-final coming to you live and local from GBSC Sports Park. That is the home of Brigades. And tomorrow we head to WA Country Builders Stadium, where Rovers will take on Railways, and that is an important game. That is the first semi-final, and whoever loses that game, Glenn, packs up their boots for season 2023.
Yes, that's right, and I don't think whoever loses today wants to catch up with whoever's going to win tomorrow. So it's an interesting opportunity. Today you have the opportunity to go straight into the grand final, and statistics show that more often than not, if you're with the second semi-final, you're a good chance to win the big one. Ball back in the centre, although having said that, we know Rovers came from 4th last year and made a mockery of all that, but rules are meant to be made and broken, and Rovers broke that last year, and they'll be hoping to do the same again this year. So a big game tomorrow at WA Country Builders Stadium as Kim Schofield shows great courage, gets the ball forward, he was slung. That's the way the umpire has seen it as well. So the free kick will go up the field, so Brigades will get the free kick in the centre of the ground, and Henry Perham has it, and the player cribbed a couple of metres there. The umpire didn't grab that one. Ball goes the way of Henry Perham. Short pass, barely 15 metres. Goes the way of Schofield. Kim Schofield gets to the way of Clay Sipler. Clay Sipler gets it up the field. Finds Caden Dan. Caden Dan on half forward now. Looking for some movement. Goes into the centre. Looks for Tom Fleming. Fleming couldn't mark it. In goes Braden Jupp for Northampton. Braden Jupp still in control, tries to break a tackle, lucky to get not caught in possession. The umpire has called the quarter. It's quarter time at the football, and that first term with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton, and on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard at quarter time in second semi-final for 2023 in the GNFL Premiership season. It is Northampton, 2 goals straight, 12. They lead Brigades 1-1-7, and you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Today's Dren O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsors, the team at Dren O'Malley Motors. Make sure helping your business work for you today and tomorrow. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
Today's Red No Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our sponsor, Melissa Price, your local member for the Seat of Juror. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
Brendan O'Malley Motors Game Day is supported by our sponsors, Skidders Restaurant and Cafe. Not only the best coffee, the best views and great food specials. Skidders Restaurant and Cafe on the Marine at Geraldton. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football radio model.
And it's a quarter time at the football, and Brigades are in front at the moment. Quarter time. And Brigades, 2 goals straight, 12 lead. Northampton, 2 goals straight, 12 lead Brigades, 1 goal, 1-7. So a 5-point margin in favour of the Rams at this stage. Our quarter-by-quarter summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. For Northampton, Jack Cripps has 1, Josh Cripps has 1, and Brigades, Fraser Ismail has 1. We're underway in this second term with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. And it'll be a very important quarter this time because Brigades have the breeze at the back. The ball is up at the other end at the moment as Brigades player Lewin Valley gets the ball away just in the nick of time. An umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Umpires this afternoon, Baker, Pratt and Cohen. Peter Keefe, what do you think of the first quarter? Who are some of the bigger contenders?
Obviously the Schofield boys and Josh Cripps and Braden Jupp for Northampton, but they gave that goal away, which I said before, the Cardinals still in finals. I thought Brigades had a lot more of the football, and my opinion, this game opens up. I think Brigades will be hard to beat, especially when you got the wind in the last quarter.
Okay.
Pete, I think, and Glenn, I think they're playing for the Ross Worthington medal today.
They are, the Ross Pod Worthington medal today, yes. So a very, very important medal, and Ross is here today working hard for the GNFL as the ball comes the way of Jaden Murrumbine. He gets the ball, Jordan Murrumbine that is, he gets it further afield, goes the way of Caden Dan, and Caden Dan gets caught in possession, and the umpire will come in and give the ball to Northampton player. He gets the ball forward. That's Aidan Bartolo. He gets it away of Braden Jupp.
Braden Jupp now.
7 possessions for Braden Jupp. So
he's doing okay. The captain, almost at centre wing, he sends it into the half-forward area. Up they go. A few players late at the back of the pack. It's picked up though. And it's picked up cleverly by a player there who moves forward into the half-forward area. Gee. Comedy of errors as the ball goes to ground. Josh Kennedy up in the middle of a pack.
50 metres.
Yep. Takes the mark and
50-metre penalty as well. No, he gave away
a free kick.
And a 50-metre.
Yep.
I remember playing at a game at Lammy Dan, gave about 20, 50 metres away one day.
Okay, so the ball coming down the field now for Brigades.
Was that in the day when Peter Hill
played that
grand final?
Yep.
50-metre hill?
Yeah.
Peter 50-metre hill, that's exactly right. The ball going forward now from Supala into the half-forward. Out goes Williams and a beautiful mark over the back of his opposite number there in Kyle Cripps. Kyle Cripps, in fact. So Williamson's come right down the ground. He's got a kick from the centre square here, but he's backing himself. Jeez. So it's going to be a big kick.
So he's at his back.
Yeah, well, he's certainly going to take all of that. Probably about 3 goals worth as he kicks toward the river end. It's a nice big kick by Williamson. It's going to drop short, come off hands, and a nice mark is taken. And it looks like it is Jack Perham who marks in the just outside the goal square. So he's going to be on a fair angle now, Glenn.
Yes.
So Jack Cripps, he's going to go for the
Jack Perham,
he's going to go for the check side kick, and he does well. Or does he? No, it's the post, but it wasn't a bad effort from Jack Perham, and a nice mark too. And that sees the Hawks go to 8 points. They won 2, and they trail the Rams 2 straight goals.
On the Active West Real Estate scoreboard, this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack, as Northampton's Jack McQuee brings the ball back into play. Picks out a teammate there. Good mark taken by Kyle Cripps. Kyle's had a haircut since we last saw him. He gets the ball in towards the centre of the ground looking for cousin Jack. And Jack Cripps takes a good mark now.
Yeah, that wasn't a mark. It was taken by the youngster for Brigades, I think.
Yeah, the umpire's saying they both had their hands on it.
Yeah.
Yep, so Jack had just claimed it. So the umpire said...
Just a sidetrack, Glenn. These 50 metres, if they're going to get them out in finals, they're so dangerous.
Yes.
Can change a game, and they've got to be disciplined.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, they both had a bit of that, Glenn.
Yes, that's fair enough. The umpire will throw the ball up, and the ball will be thrown up in the centre of the ground. So Hayden Johnson doing the rucking with Cripps. Johnson has the best of it, knocked the ground, but the player had the ball held to him.
First game back for Hayden Johnson since the country championships.
That's right, yes. So of course he did a shoulder injury there. It's great to see him come back because we were concerned when it happened at Country Week that may be the end of his season, but it's great to see him get back. Ball comes away with Tyler Caddy Caddy gets it up towards Kingsley Smith. He shepherds well. Ball comes back towards Trent Simpson. Trent Simpson for Northampton. Kicks towards goal. Looking there for Harry Taylor. Harry Taylor gets a handball. But once again, Joel Patrick, who's been very solid back there this afternoon, gets in the way of Deschamps. Deschamps kicks it up along centre wing. But the ball comes into the boundary line. There'll be a boundary throw-in on the outer side of GBSC Sports Park. Big crowd here. And Jordan Murrumbine and Jaden Schofield getting involved. A bit of pushing and shoving. And the umpire will throw the ball back into play. In fact, the ball will be thrown back in by the boundary umpire. So it's over on the far side. Good to see a very big crowd here this afternoon. A lot of people coming along to see Harry Taylor. And, of course, the superstar in Josh Kennedy, who's only played one other game this year. That was against Towns in the middle of the year, just prior to the Waffle game. But Josh Kennedy hasn't troubled the scorer as yet. No scores from him. Jack Cripps has kicked one for Northampton. Josh Cripps has kicked the other one. And Fraser Ismail's kicked a goal for Brigades.
The ball coming in now for Northampton as Josh Cripps has his name. He kicks into the footy, into the half-forward area. Up goes Kennedy. Couldn't take the mark. He had first hands on it. Goes to ground. Players diving on top of it, including Kennedy. The umpire blows the whistle. The free kick has been found to go the way of Harry Taylor, I think it is. So Harry Taylor was pushed out of it, I think. So Harry Taylor will now have a shot on goal. So Harry Taylor only about 25 metres out, 30 metres out from goal, kicking toward the southern end on a reasonable angle. So Harry Taylor has kicked a few goals this season, Glenn. So is he going to add to his tally? Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, Harry's kicked 45. He kicked 2 last week, the last round of home and away.
2-7, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Harry Taylor. Let's see how he goes. He stabs at it again. Jeez, and it wasn't a good kick at all. So his legs aren't doing the righty for Harry Taylor at the moment.
He's saying it's crossed the line.
The ball coming back now. The umpire coming into, it's a point as the ball goes.
Josh tried to trick him there,
as you do. So Harry Taylor looking a bit nimble on his legs.
Yeah, he's going all right, Harry. Yeah. It's Josh, they're nearly there, aren't they? They're in it and they're around it and they're nearly Mathaka marks. But
no, what I'm saying is, Pete, Harry's not kicking the ball very good at all.
No, that one wasn't too good.
No, it was.
Sorry, mate.
Very similar to what he kicked last week, wasn't it? It was a similar sort of way. He's not kicking.
No, there's something gone awry. That's for sure. The ball going into the half-forward area now for Brigades, and coming through is Jack Perham. So Jack Perham has been effective today for Brigades. He gets it away to a teammate, quickly puts it onto his boot, sends it inboard, and out he goes to take the mark. Is it paid? No. I think the umpire is thinking about it, and he has paid it, has he? No. The ball wasn't taken by Williamson.
No, there was a bit of dirt there.
Yeah, there certainly was, and I'll throw it up now. Williamson knocks it to ground, players diving on top of it. The ball spills free. Northampton defence working hard as it goes the way now of the Brigades custodian, who was almost slung to the ground.
It's low scoring.
He's caught in possession. Yeah, and a free kick going the way of Jupp. So Braden Jupp had a good game last week, Glenn, and continuing on from that today.
He's made for these sort of games. He's a hard-working player, loves the hard stuff, goes in very, very solidly. So he's enjoying the challenge of a finals game as Paletti kicks the ball up. Goes the way of Valley, picked up by Nathan Svensson, the 100-game man. Ryder almost a screamer. Ball comes to the ground, picked up again by Brigades, who should on goal there for Jordan O'Brien, and off hands for a minus score. So on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard, Brigades go to 1-3-9, and we see Northampton 2-1-13.
Ball coming out of defence, and Josh Cripps takes another one of his marks. He's taken probably about 4 or 5 so far in this game, going the way of Caddy now. As I said, the teacher from Kalbarri sends it down into the corridor, but it's Lewin Valley who's first in the race, or is he? He's got a player to beat there. That player there is Aidan Bortolo. Ball goes to ground. No one gets prior opportunity, and the umpire will throw it up once again. The score on the scoreboard for us reads 2-1-13. That is Northampton leading Brigades 1-3-9. One of those goals attributed to a 50-metre penalty. So as Pete's bucket keep mentioned, finals 50 metres are certainly not the thing to have against you. The ball coming out of the pack goes away. Deschamps knocks it forward. Tyler Caddy believes that, in fact, the ball going forward from the player there, Cale Cripps, and he receives a free kick, does Cale. So Cale Cripps gets the free kick.
He doesn't get many of them.
Keeping Deschamps, or catching him in possession. The ball going inside the corridor. Sipler doing well. Gets it away now to play there in Schofield. That's Kim Schofield out into space. Perham's coming down the ground. He's got McQueen to beat. Doesn't beat that player. The ball spills free. Goes away now of Northampton. That player is Jupp. At centre wing, he goes one way, then the other. Eventually gets it on into his boot. Sends it inboard. And a nice mark is taken in there by Williams.
Jamie Williams plays on by hand, but it's not a good one. Goes the way of Kim Schofield. Kim Schofield was tackled high. Kim Schofield will take the free kick. Bit of heat in the game in this second term.
There's some hard contested ball coming in now.
There goes the kick from Schofield. Goes the way of Jack Perham. Perham marks, kicks it up forward, looking for Dale Williamson.
Oh, beautiful
Williamson
kick.
flies high, and Dale Williamson takes another good grab. Dale is 45 metres out.
You would have marked that one, Glenn. It was so beautiful, that lace out.
I wouldn't have been that high, though. I would have had to been on standing on Peter Keefe's shoulders.
And I'll say, the big man flying, the little men go by train.
That's right, exactly.
That train would have been 2-2 if you were there, Glenn.
For sure. Let's see how
They need
Dale
this.
Williamson goes.
Don't they, Glenn? They need this, Brigades.
They do, very much so. They've worked hard, and they should be in front, but they aren't in front, and they aren't with that one either, because it goes through for a out of bounds on the full, so a disappointing opportunity there. Scoreboard remains the same, the Active West Real Estate scoreboard. It is Northampton 2-1-13, Brigades 1-3-9.
It's a bit like the golf shot that I came across the ball the other day over there in the far oval, Glenn. It obviously was a shank because there's no way that you would have hit it from the tee off to hit it there.
Let's see how Northampton bring the ball out of defence. It could be a 0-0 draw at half-time, the way we're going, as we will go the way of McQueen. He gets it forward, goes the way of Taylor Green. Taylor Green for Northampton, kicks it up towards centre wing, looking there for some run, but Northampton in trouble. No, they're not. Comes back towards Northampton, Matolo. He gets it forward, and whistle on play. There's lots of whistles going on, and someone was held while not in possession, and we'll see the free kick will go the way of Harrison Plusky. Harrison Plusky, the hard-working half-forward, gets it forward, finds Simpson. Trent Simpson quickly gets the ball forward, looking to full forward, looking there for the big fella, Josh Kennedy. Comes back towards Brigades. The Brigades are doing well back there, and the Brigades defenders rebound quickly, have the ball up on centre wing. Player with the ball is Jaden Schofield, but the boundary line comes into play, and the boundary umpire will throw the ball back into play.
Pete, Clay Sipler, we loved him at Country Week. I saw him at close quarters in a few games together. He said it was some of the hardest football he's played, but he's a very disciplined player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's working hard today. He's a good polished footballer, Clay. He's had about 8 possessions so far.
Yeah.
It's nice to see the midfielders from Brigades holding sway. They're getting a lot of the football, but they're obviously not kicking goals. It's a very low-scoring game.
It certainly is to this point, and brings us to the score 2-1-13. That is Northampton leading Brigades 1-3-9 as Northampton go forward again now. The ball is with Plusky. Plusky kicks into the man on the mark. The ball comes back now the way of Brigades. It's Lewin Valley who gets it inside the corridor. It's picked up by Wright though for Northampton. Gets it to a teammate who kicks to the outer side. So Tyler Caddy has the ball now. Almost at centre wing on the far side of GBSC Sports Park. He sends it further afield. Up they go. Player setting himself to take the mark. Is it Cripps? I think it is. He goes up. He's interfered with, and he'll be the recipient of a free kick. And he, Glenn, is racking up kicks today.
He certainly is. Josh Cripps carrying on where he left off last week. Clearly one of the better players for Northampton last week. Gets in the way of Jack Cripps. Jack Cripps kicks it up towards full forward. Pack into the air. Brigades to surrender. Slap the ball forward. Ball goes forward again. Crowd calls out. Northampton player gets tackled, thrown to the ground, goes back towards Northampton player there, and Jaden Paletti. He gets the ball away just in the nick of time, comes back towards Michael Wright. His kick won't be 15 metres. Umpire says no, it wasn't, but he breaks the tackle now, goes by hand. Brigades defence working hard through Harrison King. King gets a handball away. Ball still in defence, goes the way of the Brigades player who gets caught, and it got rid of the ball inappropriately, so Northampton advantage rule paid. Goes the way of Northampton through Kai McVie. He shoots towards goal. The ball very close to the goal line, and Brigades have it. Can they get it out? And the whistle on play, and the free kick has been picked out, and in fact it'll go the way of Brigades defence. So the Brigades defenders working very, very hard there.
They are, Glenn, and they're punching the ball away. They're not being selfish, not trying to mark it. They know they've got the two best players and the big guys here, so they're just doing all the hard stuff.
Nathan Svensson goes out wide, finds Henry Perham. Henry Perham goes even further wider and finds Jaden Schofield. Schofield takes his second bounce, kicks it up towards centre wing where he finds Jack Perham.
Jack Perham just inside that area Glenn was talking about, gives it back to Schofield. Schofield's away like Usain Bolt. He sends it down the far side, but ill-directed though. Finds Paletti. Paletti switches, comes inboard now. Finds a player there in Kingsley Smith. Been quiet by his standards so far today. This bloke hasn't. He sends it inboard and finds Cripps. Cripps marks inside the centre square. Big Josh Cripps taking up the rucking duties this latter end of the season into the finals. Gets it further afield now. Goes away of Harrison Plusky. He sends it into the half-forward area. Nice mark is taken there by Wright. Wright. He's been a bit parts player for Northampton over the last couple of years. Sends it forward now. Finds a player there in Simpson. Simpson's a bit of a goal sneak and will fancy himself from here. A little bit far out, one would think, but
they're just starting to control a little bit more, aren't they, Northampton? Haven't a little more in the last 5 minutes?
Yes, they have. Special comments there by Peter Bucket-Keefe. But Simpson comes in now, kicking toward the southern end here at GBSC Sports Park with 15 and a half minutes gone in the second term. It's not a bad kick as it comes around the man on the mark. He's looking for Kennedy, and Kennedy, just as you'd expect, only has eyes for the ball and takes a nice mark at the back of the pack. So Josh Kennedy will kick from about 15 or 10 metres. He's going to be on a pretty severe angle, but he's giving it away.
No, he must have been
to Harry
told
Taylor. Yep, there you go. So the ball going the way of Harry Taylor. So Harry must have got hands on it first.
Give it the right bloke, he's a left footer.
Yeah, Harry Taylor knows how to do the check side kicks as well. So Harry Taylor coming in now. That's exactly what he does. Through the middle, and that's a big goal. And a big score for Northampton as they get their third of the afternoon. They go to 3-1, leading Brigades 1-3.
Yes, very interesting indeed. And we were saying a few moments ago, Peter, Keefe, you were saying that Brigades were very disciplined. They were punching and punching and punching. That time they didn't, and let the gate open for a mark to be taken by Harry Taylor. Must have taken it. It looked like Josh had taken it, but
Josh was obviously at the back of the pack and Harry in the front. Yeah.
Also, one thing, Glenn, the small forwards for Brigades haven't fired, have they? The
no.
Two or three young boys that we expected to kick some goals haven't. So, interesting.
Yeah, scoreline very interesting now on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard. Northampton 3-1-19, Brigades 1-3-9, both 4 scoring shots, so nothing in it. They both had 4 scoring shots, but of course efficiency is what it's all about in finals time, and at the moment it's a 10-point margin in favour of the Rams. Northampton win the ball out of the centre through Caddy, gets it away to Kingsley Smith. Kingsley Smith gets it up towards full forward where he finds the big fella in Josh Kennedy, and Josh Kennedy is marked some 50 metres out on a 45-degree angle. So Josh Kennedy has the opportunity to get his first of the afternoon and get Northampton's fourth.
Listening to Radio Mumma, the home of GNFL football. Josh Kennedy hasn't scored so far this afternoon, but one would think he's going to nail this one. He's going to kick from about 35 metres when he gets onto it, kicking toward the southern end, does the customary shuffle that he made his own. Looks pretty good off the boot. That's through the middle. That's another goal to Northampton. And in this quarter, in the context of this game, Pete, they've broken it open a little bit, haven't they?
They have, yeah, and surprising, I think. Like, the first quarter and a half, Brigades held sway, had a lot of possession. If you have a look at the stats on my sheet, there's a lot of possession for Brigades midfielders, but it hasn't ended up in goal. So, and they've got a 2 or 3 goal breeze. So, interesting.
Nathan Svensson playing his 100th game. What do you enjoy best about playing 100, Nathan? He was trying to mark over Josh Kennedy. So the ball back in the middle now, and Brigades have a little bit of work to do as we head to the latter stages of the first half. Josh Kennedy, his first blood of the afternoon, and kicked against the breeze, incidentally. The ball back in the middle now. Players setting themselves. Up goes the player there in Hayden Johnson. Gets first mitts to it, but it is Cripps who brings it down eventually. Goes to the outer side. Players diving on top of the ball. The umpire blows his whistle. Free kick will go the way of no one in particular, as the umpire will throw it up just outside the centre square at centre wing. Up they go. Patrick knocks it down on this occasion. Goes to ground. The little players are going to be very important as this game develops. Schofield too, that's Kim Schofield, a nice kick on the run into the half-forward area looking for Williamson. Up go a couple of players, one of those was Johnson as well. In fact, it was Perham, he couldn't take the mark, the ball spills free. Goes away of Northampton as they come out of defence now. At centre half-back they have the ball. Going further afield, a nice lead by player there in Plusky, but he couldn't take the mark. It's quickly brought to ground, a nice tackle put on him by McGregor. from the Hawks. The umpire said no prior opportunity, and the ball will be thrown up just metres away from our broadcast position for
Pete
Radio Mama.
And Glenn, sometimes when you've got a bit of breeze in finals, an old mung kick, 50-metre torpedo or something over the back of the pack, let them go with the wind.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're kicking and mucking around with it sometimes, they've got one goal, let them go. It doesn't matter how it spins, let it get out in the open, let the ball roll on, come over the back of the pack. The young Indigenous boys, that's their bread and butter.
Ball to be thrown up on centre wing. Umpire Baker puts the ball into the air. Cripps has the best of it. Ball slapped forward, goes the way of Brigades player who had the ball held to him and didn't have prior opportunity. Umpire will throw the ball up again. So almost 20 minutes gone in this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack on Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. Second semi-final day of the GNFL Premiership season, as Kim Schofield shows great courage, gets the ball forward, goes the way of Jack Perham, and Jack Perham marks, and Jack Perham takes a very good mark. The ball was going up the ground anyway because Schofield was
played, yeah.
But he'd marked it anyway. So Perham has the ball. Jack McQuee stands the mark, 50 metres out. This is a very important kick, as Peter Keefe mentioned. Brigades need to get some scoreboard pressure. There goes the kick, drops away to the left-hand side, off hands, the boundary throw-in, deep in the left forward pocket, but still in the danger zone. So Brigades need to get some ball in there. Time for Graham Sandy or Caden Dan or Jamie Ryder to get a goal. Ball comes back into play. In goes Sandy. Umpire couldn't see that. Play on's the call, and a Northampton player was hackled high. Free kick will go the way of Cale Cripps. So Cale Cripps has got 2 free kicks in one day, and he'd be happy about that. So Cale Cripps in the back line, kicks the ball up towards half-back, looking up there. Harry Taylor's there, so too is Cripps, Josh Cripps. He sees the ball across the boundary line. There'll be a boundary throw-in about 70 metres around from the left point post at the Chapman River end, the Breeze end of the ground. So Brigades haven't added to their score much in this quarter. They've added 2 behinds, and Northampton have kicked 2 goals, 1. So it's been a very good quarter against the Breeze for Northampton. As McKittrick goes the way of Braden Jupp. Braden Jupp gets a kick forward, and advantage rule paid now. Kick up the field, goes the way of Harrison Plusky. Harrison Plusky kicks the ball forward, and Joel Patrick, who's been very, very solid back there, takes a good strong mark, goes out wide and finds Jaden Schofield.
Jaden Schofield got a bit of space. He loves it. He sends it forward now, finds McGregor just inside the centre square. In fact, it's Deschamps. Deschamps plays on now, goes further down the wing, and the siren sounds to end what was a pretty good quarter for Northampton in their second semi-final in the GNFL. At half-time, it is Northampton, 4 goals, 125. They lead Brigades 139, and you're listening to Radio Mama. We are the home of GNFL football.
Today's Drennan O'Malley Motors game day is brought to you by our
Brendan O'Malley Motors GMFL Game Day is brought to you by Community Bank Geraldton, who have been serving the community for over 13 years on your home of GMFL football. Brendan O'Malley Motors GMFL Game Day is brought to you by our member for Geraldton, Top Radio Monday.
And a very good afternoon. Welcome back. It's half-time in football, 2023 GNFL Premiership season for Brendan O'Malley Motors Game Day, second semi-final day. And we're coming live from GBSC Sports Park on Radio Mumba. We're the home of GNFL footy. Glenn Varden, Peter Ferenza and Peter Bucket-Keefe keeping you company on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. In earlier games today, we thank the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the members of Geraldton. And to tell you what happened, in the Colts, Mullawar 10-3, 63, defeated Northampton 3-5, 23, so Mullawar through to a grand final in the Colts. In the reserves, Railway 6-7, 43, defeated Brigades 5-5, 35, a 8-point margin there, so through to a grand final for Railways. And in the women, Brigades 4-9, 33, defeated Northampton 1-3-9, a 24-point margin. Of course, in the second semi-final, those that lose get another opportunity. They play in the preliminary final, and they play those games next week. As we look at what happens in the big league game, and we can tell you at half-time that it's a very good scoreline for Northampton. Northampton 4-1-25, lead Brigade 1-3-9, 16 points to margin in favour of the Rams. In that quarter, Northampton against the Breeze kicked 2 goals, 1. And Brigades with the breeze kicked 2 behind, so a very solid performance indeed. Our half-time summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton, Lara Dalton, the members for Geraldton. At half-time, Northampton goal scorers: Jack Cripps, Josh Cripps, Harry Taylor, I should say, and Josh Kennedy have one apiece. For Brigades, Fraser Ismail has the Hawks' only goal. Peter Keefe, you're looking after the better players and of course contenders. The umpires will pick the medal today, the Ross Podworthington medal, but who are some of the players you think the umpires will consider?
Well, the most influential player on the ground till half-time is Josh Cripps. I sort of said at the start, he looked pretty ominous the first few bounce downs. He's winning the ruck, he's taking good, strong overhead marks, which you don't see as much anymore. So the ruckman can take marks around the ground, big marks. That's probably, Nat Mew is a great ruckman, probably wasn't the best mark. Whereas you're seeing Josh Cripps today, he's starting to put a lot of influence on the game with his marking, as you pointed to, Glenn, Peter. And I also think the Schofield boys are getting a hell of a lot of footy, and close to Fala, and a big shout out to the fullback, what's the big fella's name? Joel Patrick's working hard on Harry and Josh. But yeah, I think we're surprised at the scoreline, Glenn and Peter. I certainly am. I would have thought Brigades would be in front by now, but it's a long way to go.
A rhetorical question for you, Glenn. Why are the umpires picking the best player today?
They always pick the best player.
Yes, they get a panel that picks.
No, not the
Not Ross's medal.
Not the medal. Ross, I think, mentioned to me last night that picked by the umpires.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's how it's always picked. They mightn't pick. Yeah, they always pick the only medal they don't pick is the Guardian medal. Or generally the Guardian writer uses the panel.
I don't like the idea myself, but anyway, I think they should be a sort of panel that picks it just like they do
in the other games.
Yeah, certainly. The umpires have their own medal.
And the JJ Clune medal.
JJ Clune, yeah.
And of course they pick that. That is coming up on the 29th of this month. No, yes, this month. We're in August and we're talking about, the 29th of this month. We're talking about having JJ Clune.
Exactly.
And so if you want to go to the JJ Clune, it's always a big night out. Get in touch with your local club. They would love to hear from you. We're about to get this third quarter underway, the Brendan O'Malley Motors quarter, as umpire Cohen puts the ball into the air. No one get a decisive knock, but it's roved beautifully by Schofield. Comes back towards Jaden Schofield. A pack develops. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up once again. So the opening seconds of this third term, they call it the Premiership quarter, and it's a very important quarter for Northampton. They have the Breeze at their back in this term, Josh Cripps gets the resultant free kick. Josh Cripps puts the ball on his left boot, kicks it towards full forward, running with the fly to the ball, taking a good mark is Josh Kennedy.
Textbook stuff.
And Josh Kennedy has an opportunity to kick his second goal of the afternoon and spread the game. So Brigades in a bit of bother as Josh Kennedy starts to find some touch, and a good bit of play there from Josh Cripps. So Josh Kennedy, he is 15 metres out. He kicks these ones for breakfast. So Josh Kennedy has the opportunity to get his second of the afternoon and get the Rams fifth of the day. There goes the kick from Kennedy. Looks pretty good, but not good enough. 1 point only. And on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard, Northampton go to 4 goals to 26. They lead Brigades 1 goal 3-9.
Yes, to radio moment, the home of GNFL football. Josh Kennedy missing a goal that he probably should have got on that occasion, kicking toward the river end here in the second semi-final. They have a handy lead early. Northampton 26 plays 9, as I should say, just after half-time early in the third term. Goes away now of Brigades, who send it further afield through Caden Dan. A nice kick into the half-forward area, and it's marked now by that player in Ryder. Ryder not playing with his brother today. Don't know what the story is there. Christopher Ryder playing, no Jamie. The ball coming inboard now. Northampton defence starting to get a little bit of a handle on this game as they send it to the outer side. Looking at that player in right, doesn't meet the intended target. Brigades do the better on that occasion. Lewin Valley judges a bounce well, sends it into the half-forward area. The whistle sounds. I think a free kick will go the way further down the ground.
Yeah, a bit of undisciplined play there by Northampton. And I took a player off the ball.
And it may have been Kim Schofield, was it?
No, it was Jack Deschamps who got it.
Okay.
So Peter and Glenn, we've started to notice now that the breeze is starting to pick up a little bit. You're going to have to stab the ball harder into the wind. I'm just watching the ball now when they're kicking the wind is starting to not float properly, so they're going to have to kick it lower and harder.
Yeah, so Jack Deschamps now.
No, that's Jack Perham.
Jack Perham kicks on goal, and he scores. He kept it low, as you said, Pete, and he scores a much-needed goal for Brigades. It is only their second of the afternoon. 2
hard to believe,
goals, 3.
It's important,
and they lead, they trail Northampton 4 goals 2.
Yeah, you don't expect the top side to kick their second goal of a game, the second semi-final, in the opening 3 minutes of the third quarter, do you?
Brigades have to work really hard this quarter because you can't just expect the wind in the last quarter to win you the game, because you'd think Northampton would kick a couple, so they have to work really hard.
Ball back in the centre, umpire waiting for players to get back into position. So the margin has narrowed. 26 plays 15 on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard in favour of the Northampton side. Umpire Pratt puts the ball into the air. Once again, Cripps has the best of it. Josh Cripps slaps it forward, looking there to get some run out of the centre. The Northampton side. Brigades working hard, as Peter said. I'm sure Corey Foote laid down the law at half-time and told them how important this premiership quarter is, the third quarter. Breeze favouring the end to which Northampton are kicking this quarter. Ball taken by Cripps. He gets rid of it just in the nick of time, and in fact he didn't get rid of it properly. Free kick goes the way of Tom Fleming. Feeds a handball out to Kim Schofield. Kim Schofield for the Hawks. Kicks it up towards half forward.
That was almost telegraphed, wasn't it?
It was. The big man, Dale Williamson, takes the ball from 50 metres. Kicks it towards full forward. Looking there for Jack Perham. Ball running through.
Well done.
And the number 22 there for Brigades.
Was it?
And it is. Fraser Ismail gets another goal. And
touch
a
ball.
point. Touch ball off hands. So Fraser Ismail was celebrating, but the Northampton players had knocked it through. So the ball comes back. So a minus score there. And a good mark taken there by Tyler Caddy. Tyler Caddy on half back for the Rams. Comes out towards centre wing. Looking out here for Aidan Bartolo. Bartolo takes a good mark. Now he plays on. Gets a kick away. Kicks it in towards the centre looking for Jack Cripps. Cripps takes a good mark. Plays on quickly. Kicks it up towards half forward. Looking up there for the run. But once again, Clay Sippler has done very, very well. And Clay Sippler takes a good strong mark. And he, like many of his defenders, have been very good this afternoon.
Sippler, the super stopper, sends it out in front of our broadcast position. Up they go, and there is Josh Cripps. He's the tallest man on the ground this afternoon. Marks at centre wing. Of course, his brother Patrick playing for Carlton. Into the half-forward area, looking for Kennedy. Over the back, though, is Taylor. So they're teaming up well at Kennedy and Taylor. And Taylor will now have a shot on goal. So kicking on a bit of an angle, kicking toward the Chapman River end, but I think he's got this. So he believes anyways. He kicks on an angle, and he's only about 30 metres out. So in he comes now. Harry Taylor. Not kicking that well in recent weeks, and again, he gets the distance, but not the accuracy, and through for the minus.
Come on, boys.
Ball comes out of play from Sipler, goes out wide, finds a teammate, and Brigades looking to move the ball on quickly. Comes the way of Kim Schofield. Kim Schofield still in the back pocket, just in front of the Active West Real Estate scoreboard. He kicks it across to the boundary line, finds his brother there in Jaden. Jaden Schofield kicks it up towards centre wing. Good mark taken there by the Brigades player. And the Brigades player has the ball now. That is Ben Bockman. Bockman gets it up the ground, looking for some movement, but Northampton can recover and regain the composure as McPhee gets it the way of the hard-running Northampton player there and Cale Cripps. Cale Cripps kicks it up towards half forward. Beautiful bit of play by the Brigades player there in Schofield. He gets it back now, does Schofield. Schofield quickly kicks it up towards half forward. Finds Fraser Ismail 50 metres from goal.
He plays on now, does Ismail. Sees the lead from Williamson. He ran too early. The ball goes over his head. Does it find the boundary? No, it doesn't. It's picked up by the Northampton player that takes it over the white line. The ball will be thrown in deep attack now for Brigades. Another goal here will be handy for Brigades, Pete, if they can nail one here. Well, those two will tighten it up.
There's two that the big boys, the XFL players missed then, could be very important at the end of the game.
For sure. Ball about to be thrown in. Southern end of GBSC Sports Park, the end to which Brigades are kicking against the breeze. Comes over the back of the pack, off a Brigades boot inside the corridor. There's a mark taken over a couple of players. It goes. The bounce isn't kind. The
Brigades player held while not in possession.
Crowd jeer as they support that decision by the umpire. And now that Brigades player will have a shot on goal.
Is
and
that Christopher Ryder?
Yeah, it's Christopher Ryder for sure.
Then who's going to kick it? It'll be him.
So Christopher Ryder knows how to kick a goal or two. So Christopher Ryder, he's going to kick. He's probably done a few at training from that position. So Christopher Ryder kicking toward the southern end on a more than a 45-degree angle.
He's right on the boundary line.
He is, most definitely. And he comes now. Christopher Ryder looks pretty good off the boot.
He's a left footer,
misses.
So
yeah, and through for the minor score. So starting to attack a little bit more our Brigades, but they need to get more of those 4-pointers, Pete.
Yeah, well, there's a fair few points on the board. It's 2-5 or 2-6 now it is, I think. Very important at the end of the game.
It will be, as Northampton need to get some score on the board while they've got some breeze at their back, and the Northampton player left all on his own there was Callum Teakle. He couldn't believe his luck. So Callum Teakle on half back gets a big kick up towards half forward. Northampton in front.
Oh, nice mark.
And a good mark taken there by big fella Jack Cripps. Jack Cripps playing well this afternoon. Kicks it up towards full forward, looking up there for Josh Kennedy. Ball carries the player. Player be best to run it through, and that's exactly what he does. And Clay Sipler sees the ball through for a force behind. So Northampton go to 4 goals, 4-28. Brigades are 2-5-17 on the Active West Real Estate, and Brigades are on the rebound.
Perham on the far side, kicks it down the wing. A nice lead from Perham to Perham. Bet they'd like seeing that. Into the half-forward area it goes now from Jack Perham. But an ill-directed kick, and finds the player there in Trent Simpson. He plays on now, down the wing. Players setting themselves. At centre wing, the mark is taken by Northampton. Looks like it's Cripps. I think Jack Cripps. It's gone over there. Cripps comes inboard now. Finds a player there in Teakle. Teakle slowing things down. Bit of a rainmaker. Up into the air it goes. It's slapped down. Goes to ground. Picked up by Brigades. They get more of the ball as they kick it down the corridor. Northampton, the taller custodians, are able to collect the ball. The ball goes back the way of the Rams. They kick further afield into the half-forward area. Going the way now of Simpson. He tries to get onto it. He loses possession. Goes away of the Brigades defender. He gets it over to the player there in Kim Schofield. Goes further afield into the half-forward area. A lot of the ball being played on that side of the ground this afternoon, but I think it's because of the breeze, and only to get it up they need to be a bit like a tackle. Yeah, the ball, a nice tackle is put on that player as it comes backwards toward Northampton. The ball on the half-back flank is picked up now by Cale Cripps. He gets it to Wright. Wright in turn gets it to Williams. Williams down the middle of the ground. They can set something up as Wright puts it onto his boot into the half-forward area. Through comes Kennedy. He gets a hand to it. Knocks it down to Taylor. Back to Simpson, and Simpson goals for the Rams.
Josh Kennedy tapped that ball out, didn't he? Didn't miss it. He did that. He tapped it to the player. Great football.
He certainly did. He knew what he was doing, and that's the difference between a player when they go to the next level. But of course, Pete, as I was trying to explain, but I ran out of time, on that far side, it's like tacking in sailing. I need to get it up that far side to score.
Yeah, well, Brigades have had a bit of the footy this quarter. That's, they've had a fair bit of possession, but
they haven't been as efficient around goal as usual, have they?
No.
They're really struggling up there. They have a lot of the midfield play. Jaden Schofield's been good. Kim Schofield's been good. The defenders of Brigades have been good. I reckon the Brigades forwards have struggled a lot today, so they've got to give Northampton defenders a credit for locking them down, not giving them the opportunities, and the ball is back in the centre. So we've played 11 minutes in this third quarter, the premiership quarter, for Drennan O'Malley Motors. 34 plays 17 in favour of the Rams. Picked up by Kim Schofield, wins the ball out of the midfield, kicks it up towards full forward, finds Jamie Ryder, in fact Christopher Ryder. No,
Christopher
Ryder. Jamie's not playing today. So Christopher Ryder.
Almost in the same spot he was before, Glenn.
He hasn't kicked the goal, but he would have had a bit of a sighter last time. So Christopher's a clever player. He's a left footer. He's on the wrong side for a left footer, but as we say, he's an opportunist goal kicker, and he knows where the goals are here on most occasions. So he knows the breeze. Christopher Ryder sets sail for home. This time it looks pretty good. Christopher Ryder gets his first. Brigades get their third, and on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard, Brigades go to 3 goals, 5-23. They trail Northampton 5-4-34.
Peter Bucket Keefe, just when we thought Northampton would get away for it, Brigades a peg one back, and they need to, don't they?
yeah, well, they're worth 2 or 3 into the win, those goals, aren't they? If they can keep within distance, so they're 2 goals down, and 11 points, I think it is, and if they can keep within distance, you've got some breeze, you know, anything can happen.
Listen to Radio Mum, the home of GNFL football, 5-4-34. That is Northampton leading Brigades 3-5-23. This is the second semi-final season 2023 in the GNFL, and you're listening to Radio Mum, the home of GNFL football. Back in the middle now. 34 plays 23. Big crowd in attendance here at GBSC Sports Park this afternoon. Cripps knocks it down, goes to Williams, unable to collect it. He gets it on the second attempt, straight down the corridor. Kennedy will gobble this one up as he goes forward. He goes a little bit too forward on this occasion. His opposite number is able to slap it down, but it's still in the shadows of the goals for Northampton as the ball goes further afield. Harry Taylor at the base of the pack. He dives on top of the ball, holds it to himself. The umpire says no prior opportunity, and the ball will be thrown up just metres away from the goal for the Rams.
Yes, goals are worth their weight in gold at the moment. Very low scoring game for such beautiful conditions, but it is finals football. We're playing for a grand final berth, and of course nobody wants to play in the preliminary final next week against Rovers or Railways, the winner of tomorrow's game. And don't forget tomorrow, Drennan O'Malley Motors game day from 2:30. The big one, the elimination final. Railways playing Rovers. Free kick's been picked out, goes the way of the veteran in Sam Millett. Millett goes forward, looking there for Hayden Johnson. Hayden Johnson couldn't mark the ball, and the ball is out of play, and the boundary umpire will throw the ball in. So the boundary umpire to put the ball back into play. Josh Cripps to do the rucking for Northampton. Hayden Johnson doing the rucking for Brigades. Ball's about 70 metres away from the goals at the Chapman River end, clubroom side. There goes the kick from the boundary throw in. Once again, the ball goes out of bounds. Brigades will be quite happy to keep the ball running out of bounds for the rest of the quarter. We've played 14 minutes in this last quarter, the third quarter. The 14 minutes in this third quarter, the premiership quarter. In this quarter, Brigades have added some 2 goals, 2, and Northampton have added 1 goal, 3. So it's been a pretty good quarter from Brigades against the breeze. As Kim Schofield gets a handball away, goes away of Deschamps. He handballs the ball away, looking there for O'Brien. In goes Braden Jupp. He's very close to the boundary line, and Braden Jupp is caught in possession, took them on, and that's what Braden Jupp does. And we'll see a free kick go the way of Brigades. 50 metre penalty now.
Should be.
Should have been a 50-metre penalty. So we see the free kick will go the way of...
Was that a yellow card?
Turned around.
Was that a yellow card, Glenn?
Yeah, yellow card
It
to
hasn't been.
Jamie Williams.
It hasn't been turned around.
Red card.
Sandy's
No, yellow card on the other side. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yellow card. So the free kick was going to be Brigades. Going to be Northampton's, I should say.
No, 50. It was going to be Graham Sandy, wasn't it?
So Graham Sandy is.
He's had it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jamie Cripps, Jamie Williams was yellow carded.
Yep.
So, but he gets replaced now, so it doesn't really mean anything, the yellow card. So the ball comes back into play, goes the way of Harrison Plusky, who's copped one high. And Harrison Plusky, he's...
Harry has a lot of trouble with head
concussion. So Harrison Plusky. So the players are coming to say hello. And Harrison Plusky will get the free kick. He was dealt with late. So Harrison Plusky will have the free kick. So the bit of feeling in the game, as you'd expect, playing for a lot. So Harrison Plusky have to go through the bit of protocol, and he'll come off for a check-up.
Just coming back to that incident a bit earlier on, Glenn, Graham Sandy and Brigades probably should have got 50 metres in that incident because they had the free kick and then there was a card given out.
It used to be if you got a free, but it's no longer the rule apparently.
Yeah, that's why I think confused you, Glenn, because you thought it'd been reversed.
Yeah, I thought, So the ball now with the player as a lot of noise happening as Jack Desham comes off for a spell, and a bit of feeling in the crowd as you'd expect. So
go to the barrel.
Free kick will go the way of Kai McVie. Kai McVie from 65 metres out.
Oh, there's a goal
on his left boot. Good kick. Very good kick. And it's a goal.
It's a goal.
Off hands. Gee whiz, it was very close.
Good kick.
That was a beautiful kick. And that's what you're saying earlier, Peter. People should be doing more of that. Kick long. Because the breeze will help you a fair way.
They'll do the work for you.
So the ball to be brought back in. Another minus score. So Northampton peppering away. 17 minutes gone in this third quarter. And the intensity continues to grow here at GBSC Sports Park. Big pack into the air. In goes Kim Schofield. Shows good courage. Northampton player gets tackled. Thrown to the ground. Umpire Pratt will come in and throw the ball up.
Intensity's gone up, hasn't it, boys?
It has. There's a lot going on. Northampton wearing black arms bands today because the nephew of Michael Wright, 3-year-old, passed away, and our sympathy to the Wright family and those extended families. So the ball go free kick, goes the way of Braden Jupp, who's tackled high. Braden Jupp, big kick,
nice kick.
Up towards full forward, looking there. Josh Kennedy, who uses his old class and got rid of his opponent and takes a very, very strong mark. And Brigades have given away another 50 metre, I'd say.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, they threw him to the ground.
Yeah, Jake has played on.
Yeah,
He just kicked the goal.
So the ball will come back because he didn't have time on. There was a 50 metre.
He said that was all right when I did that last time at Optus.
So here he goes. Josh Kennedy lining up for his second goal. So there's been a couple of 50 metres. So Josh Kennedy gets his second of the afternoon, and the scoreboard rolls on for the Rams as we head into close to time on in this third term. The Drennan O'Malley Motors quarter, and Northampton in control. Northampton 6-5-41. They lead Brigades 3-5-23, and we've seen a couple of 50-metre penalties today.
So that was a 50-metre penalty.
Well, it wasn't 50 metres. He didn't need 50
He didn't need it. I was going to say just
he's only 15 metres out.
I was going to
he would have kicked it from 15, but it's all right. Well, you did see him miss one from 15. So,
we did.
Yeah, so we might as well give him...
Joel Patrick's played very well today, I thought, on the big boys. He's done a big job.
He's done a really good job.
Yeah.
And, except for when he threw that bloke.
Oh no, he's had a game of footy today, that's for sure. 41 plays at 23. Northampton certainly, that I think is one of the biggest leads of the afternoon. And Brigades certainly need to pull this one back a little if they're to go into the final term with a chance of winning the second semi-final. They finished as minor premiers, but the challenge has been thrown out by Northampton today. Ball in the middle of the ground, goes away now of Brigades. Coming forward, the Brigades players quickly knocked to ground, but the crowd gets involved. Braden Jupp picks it up for Northampton, gets it away to Tyler Caddy. Caddy doesn't get it on the first attempt, tries to sell the dummy, puts it onto his boot into the full forward area, looking for Trent Simpson. He almost took a one-hander, goes over his head, goes toward the boundary. The boundary umpire is right on the scene. The ball will be thrown in full forward now. The full forward area. Another 50-metre penalty going against Brigades. So that's going to take Jack Cripps, I think it is.
There's three goals
right
down,
into the goal square. Yeah. So these two goals could be killers this afternoon. One to Kennedy and now one to Cripps.
Not very clever play.
Well, Cripps hasn't kicked it yet, but he will. So Jack Cripps, straight off his boot, straight through the middle. That's 7 goals, 5. That is 47. And is Northampton leading the Hawks 3-5-23 in the second semi-final?
There's 3 goals down, not 10. I mean, what's thrown away? There's a couple of goals they've just given away, and now they've got to try and kick them in the last quarter.
Yes, they made very hard work for it. 2 ridiculous 50 metres they've given away. The umpires saw them. The umpires right on the mark. And just frustration. Just shows sometimes Brigades haven't been put under pressure too much this year.
No, well, that is a sign of that, isn't it?
And then you start acting like you've never played a game of footy before because you haven't played enough pressure football. So pressure is certainly mounting on the Hawks now. And on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard, Northampton 7-5, 47. Brigades are 3-5, 23. We've got a real contest and have Northampton on their way. Are they on their way to a grand final berth? At the moment, they're looking pretty good. Ball back in the centre. Umpire Baker to put the ball into the air. And we're into time on now in this third term. Josh Cripps wins it forward. Goes the way of Kale Cripps. Vantage rule paid. Goes the way of Tyler Caddy. Kicks it up towards full forward, looking for the danger man there, and Josh Kennedy. In goes Joel Patrick, fighting hard. Ball very, very tight in there, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up, and the ball will be thrown up deep in the left forward pocket, only metres away. Northampton keen to get another goal. Northampton have kicked 3 goals in this quarter, and Brigades have kicked 2.
The ball coming into space now, Kennedy. He'll go into battle, and he keeps the ball in his keeping. Geez, he doesn't give up. He doesn't give up at all. And the ball will be thrown up just metres outside the goal for Northampton. Up they go. By throwing, Cohen throws it up. It's knocked down by Harry Taylor, but going the way of Brigades. Out of the packet comes Taylor Caddy's there. He's been good this afternoon, Pete. He's getting a lot of the ball. Yeah. And the ball is bottled up once again. So Northampton doing what they need to do at this stage of the game, Glenn, and that is bottle it up.
Yeah, they're doing well, but the last couple of goals have taken the pressure valve off a little bit for Northampton, certainly put the pressure back on the Hawks, who were going well up until that point. Picked up now by Harry Taylor, shoots on goal, but once again Joel Patrick comes the ball through, he has been outstanding this afternoon. Joel Patrick goes right across the face of ground, looking out there for Tom Fleming, but the ball carries that, and in fact it goes out of bounds. So Joel played on quickly, trying to get the ball moving, but comes on. So the ball will be thrown in between the point posts and the scoreboard here at GBSC Sports Park.
That is stages of the third term, 22.5 minutes gone, Glenn.
As Harry Taylor gets dragged to the ground, umpire Cohen to throw the ball up.
Brigades don't need a goal here.
47 plays 23 in favour of the Rams.
The ball about to be thrown up. It's in the half-forward area once again for Northampton. Over the pack it goes. Topo here would be very beneficial for the Rams, but the ball is bottled up once again, and umpire Cohen will try and relieve the pressure. Up he goes again. This throws it a little bit higher than he probably could. Into the half-forward area it goes from Schofield now, and it's taken by Sandy. Sandy for Brigade sends it to the outer side. Schofield, he's been quiet in this particular term. Jaden Schofield at centre wing. He sends it further afield into the half-forward area. Brigade's a late score in this term would be timely as they send it into the half-forward area. The player here in Graham Sandy couldn't take the mark. The ball's dropped to ground. It's picked up now by Jupp. Jupps it, gets it to a teammate, puts it onto his boot, gets out of danger to Northampton as they kick it into the half-forward area. Gee, Sandy got right up into the clouds on that occasion. The ball going back the way of the defender for Brigades, but the whistle has sounded. Something has happened off play. In fact, it's a free kick going to Brigades.
Sam Millett.
Yeah, Sam Millett is the recipient of a free kick. So Sam Millett. Something happened off the play.
But the ball was 25 metres down the track.
It was. Exactly. Sipler kicks it to the outer side. I noticed that in the AFL too, Glenn. They're not playing the advantage role the way it should be. Well, the way we believe it should be. As they kick it to the outer side now on the Golf Club side of GBSC Sports Park. It's sun-drenched oval here this afternoon. A big crowd in attendance for the second semi-final. And at this stage, it looks like Northampton may have booked themselves in for a berth. The grand final in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes, it'll be very interesting indeed. Of course, this time tomorrow, Radio Mama will be at WA Country Builders Stadium, calling the big one, the elimination first semi-final between Railways and Rovers. So should be a very, very interesting game indeed. Boundary umpire will have to throw the ball back into play. 24.5 minutes gone, and the umpire didn't ask him to call the ball back, and eventually the ball comes forward, goes the way of Sam Millett, one of the players who infringed and gave away a free kick early, goes the way of McGregor. He goes by hand to Sipler. Sipler goes to Caden Dan, picked up by Michael Wright for Northampton. Wright kicks it forward, looking for Harry Taylor. Finds that player. Taylor gives it to Kingsley Smith. Kingsley Smith kicks it towards full forward. And Josh Kennedy takes a very strong mark. And Josh Kennedy will mark, and he has marked, and he's only metres from goal. And he'll kick towards the Chapman River end. So Josh Kennedy having an opportunity to kick his third of the afternoon. He kicked one early on. He kicked one in the second quarter.
Come on, JK. He's trying to steal angle here.
He's kicked, and he's lining up for his second in this third quarter. So Josh Cripps.
He'll do the banana here.
So Josh Kennedy.
He'll get this easy.
So he's got a lot of supporters down there.
Bread and butter.
So there goes the kick from Josh Kennedy. And he's kicked it across the face of goal. And Brigades pretty lucky about that.
Hey, Rachel Gardner, a great listener to Radio Mama, of course, Drennan O'Malley Motors, our biggest sponsor. She said, interesting stat here, fellas, pretty unique. 3 ex-AFL players out on the park there, and 4 blokes out there whose brothers have played AFL.
Yeah, it's an amazing story, isn't it? Yeah, thank you for that.
You guys have put the mockers on 2 of those. Glenn, you can do this for breakfast at Pete. He's not going to miss that.
Joshie's got to get into us after the game, I can tell you.
Ball with Henry Perham. Feeds it out towards Jaden Schofield. He's running across half-back. Kicks it up towards centre wing. Graham Sandy starting to become a little bit lively. Graham Sandy kicks it up towards half-forward, where he finds the player there in Fraser Ismail.
They need a goal here.
Ismail plays on quickly, kicks it towards the forward pocket, finds Jack Perham. Perham screws the ball around, shoots towards full forward, looking there for Dale Williamson. Ball running free, but Northampton defenders fighting hard, and Northampton, as the Brigades player shoots on goal, and a good bit of play.
It was in the big fella.
Big Dale Williamson has kicked the goal from nowhere, and Brigades needed that one. That's an understatement. And on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard, Northampton are 7-6-48. They lead Brigades 4-5-29. We've played 27 minutes in this third quarter, and a crucial goal just in the nick of time.
It just blows me away, Pete. Forwards like Josh Kennedy, and we're talking about Big Dale Williamson, the size of these fellas, and the just the quick way they can see an opportunity and go for it.
They don't give up. They've got a lot of intent. They want the footy. They demand the football, and that's when you demand the footy. It's when you get it. But this game should have been iced this quarter. Northampton had 4 or 5. I don't understand bad against their great AFL players, but those boys should have kicked them.
Well, they've kicked 3 goals, 4 in this quarter. 3 goals, 5 in fact. 3 goals, 5 in this quarter.
Can't be too critical of Henry.
They don't often have to deal with the breeze. That's the problem. Yeah. Okay, ball back in the middle now. Up they go. And it's knocked down on this occasion by the big fellow in Hayden Johnson, back in the lineup after injuring himself at Country Week. As the siren sounds for 3/4 time, and things have evened up a little as we head to the most important quarter of the second semi-final. Will Northampton go through for their first grand final appearance in a little while since they last appeared, or will Brigades be able to hold them back as minor premiers? On the scoreboard it reads 7-6-48. That is Northampton leading Brigades 4-5-29, and you're listening to the home of football. This is Radio Mama.
Today's Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsors, the team at Drennan O'Malley Motors. Make sure you make them your first choice for your second-hand cars. Stay tuned to the home of Day is brought to you by our great sponsor GT Russell Chartered Accountants and Business Advisor, helping your business work for you today and tomorrow. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And a very good afternoon. Three-quarter time on football. GNFL second semi-final day for the
Premiership season in 2023, and you're tuned to Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day on the home of GNFL footy. Glenn Barnden, Peter Forenza and Peter Keefe as we look at what is happening here at GBSC Sports Park. A big crowd in attendance for the game this afternoon, and Brigades in a bit of bother at three-quarter time, but did Northampton kick enough goals? Northampton had kicked 3 goals 5 in that third quarter, and Brigades kicked 2 goals 2. So the margin was 16 points at half-time. It's now 19 points. So not a big increase there from Northampton with the breeze. Brigades will have the breeze at their back. Our quarter-by-quarter summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. For Northampton, Josh Kennedy and Jack Cripps have 2 apiece. Singles to Josh Cripps, Harry Taylor and Trent Simpson. For Brigades, their goal scorers, 4 single goal scorers: Fraser Ismail, Jack Perham, Dale Williamson, Christopher Ryder. Looking at the better players, Peter Keefe, who do you think is going well at this stage?
Josh Cripps is still best on ground with the Schofield boys closely behind. They've left the door out in Northampton. They should have iced the game in that quarter. We'll see what happens.
We're underway in this last quarter as umpire Pratt puts the ball into the air. Josh Cripps wins it to ground. Northampton player Tyler Caddy is tackled and gets a free kick. Pleads it out towards Braden Jupp as Northampton go forward to the city end of the ground. They find Trent Simpson, who had the ball, had these hands knocked away from him. So Trent Simpson gets a free kick. Trent Simpson from 58 metres out kicks it towards full forward. Whistle on play. And a free kick's been picked out, goes the way of Northampton, and Northampton's Jordan Murrumbine gets the goal, and Jordan Murrumbine may have stole the game for Northampton. The margin now is quite substantial. Jordan Murrumbine usually plays in defence, gets an opportunist goal. Don't quite know what the free kick was for, but the scoreboard rolls over for Northampton in the first 46 seconds of this final term, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants, and it is Northampton 8-6-54. They lead Brigades 4-5-29, and Brigades with the work to do. Have they got the energy? Have they got the skill?
25 points is the difference here at GBSC Sports Park in favour of the Rams. Brigades have a look ahead of them, as Glenn indicated. They've got about 25 minutes to do it, but is it enough? They have the breeze at their back. Up goes the player there. Right. In Johnson knocks it to ground, gets it out to Sandy. Sandy tries to get it forward, but Wright's there. He does well, gets it into space as he tackles Sandy. Sandy's caught not in possession, and he'll be the recipient of a free kick. So, in fact, he was slung, probably held on to a little bit too long. Sandy into the full forward area. Up go a couple of players. The Northampton defender was the first to get mids to it. Goes to ground to the back of the pack. It's picked up now by Jupp. Jupp kicks it further afield. In fact, it's Cripps out toward the boundary, and another free kick, I think, has been found to go the way of Northampton. Of the half-back flank down the far side of GBSC Sports Park, they can set something up here, up into the air. Good play. Goes that player in Clay Sibler, probably one of the better players for Brigades this afternoon. Had his work cut out for him as he goes laterally across ground. He's looking for space. Can they run onto it? There are a couple of players. One of them is Ronan. The other is Hayden Johnson. Eventually goes the way of Dan. Dan onto his boot for Brigades into the half-forward area. He's looking for Ryder. Ryder hasn't had a lot of opportunities today. He's kicked 1 goal as he runs on toward the boundary. Don't know where his brother is today, Glenn. That is a mystery because they often work together in tandem.
Yeah, going into this game, I would have thought that the Brigades forward line would be one of their keys, but it hasn't been the way.
Definitely.
I think the Brigades defence has been far better than their forward line, and their defenders have really worked very hard, but their forward line just hasn't been functional this afternoon. As the ball comes forward from Cripps, he slaps it forward to Braden Jupp, and Braden Jupp is caught in possession, so the free kick will go the way of Brigades.
And Glenn, credit to Northampton's backline. I guess none of them had a lot of possessions or dominated.
Good mark.
Between them all, they've done well.
Well, they've done very well too. And you would have thought the Northampton defenders, if there was a weak link at the Northampton side, it was probably the
Schofield to Perham took a nice mark, Glenn, a timely mark. So if he can goal here, Jack Perham, he has got 1 goal, I think, this afternoon.
He has.
His dad would kick this.
Yes, he would. And he'll let him know if he doesn't. In comes Jack Perham now. It's just going to make the distance. Dropping short. Up go a few hands. Comes off hands. Still in the shadows of the goals here at the northern end as a couple of players shake the point post, and the ball goes over the line and will be thrown in deep attack for Brigade. So it wasn't a bad effort by Perham. Let the breeze do the work, almost brought it in, but it's gone through for the minus score in the end. So the scoreboard ticks over, but not the way Brigades would want it to. 4-6-30, and they trail Northampton 8-6-54.
Tyler Caddy marks on the receive, on the half-back line.
Like
Tyler Caddy plays on short pass, looking for Josh Cripps. Cripps has been outstanding this afternoon.
Big marks, Glenn, you said?
Yeah, he keeps running, he keeps working hard. He's had a birthday this afternoon because of that hard work. Cripps plays on, short pass, very short pass, battling to be 15 metres. Goes the way there of the Northampton player in Aidan Bartolo. Bartolo kicks it back, not a very good kick either. And he picks out Jared Woodcock. So Woodcock goes on, kicks it back up the ground, looking up there for some run. Ball running free. Goes the way now, very close to the boundary line, and Brigade see the ball across the boundary line. There'll be a boundary throw in. So time ticking by in this last quarter. GT Russell Chartered Accountants on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. 5 minutes gone in this final term, and it's a pretty 24-point margin. So it's 4 goals that need to be kicked, and they need to be kicked very, very quickly. Have Brigade's got the energy because it's been a pretty warm day. It's been a very physical contest, and at this stage Northampton holds sway as Tyler Caddy picks up the ball again, roves it beautifully, kicks it up towards half forward, and a good strong mark there taken by Brigades, by the Northampton player. And Northampton want to be careful that they give away another 50-metre penalty, or Brigades that want to be careful, because Harry Taylor has the ball, feeds it out towards Braden Jupp. He can set Northampton into a grand final. Yes, Northampton are going to play in the grand final this year. Braden Jupp gets a much needed goal and puts the icing on the cake. Braden Jupp has been very good this afternoon, as he always is. He loves these sort of games, hard fought, tight contests, and Braden Jupp gets a very, very good goal, his first. And on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard, Northampton look like they're into a grand final. Northampton 9-6-60. They lead Brigades 4-6-30. 30 points the margin in favour of the Rams.
Yes, it's been a bit of a godsend for Northampton, getting Josh Cripps into the lineup this late in the season.
Than, Josh Kennedy.
He certainly has today. And of course, next week they have the option of bringing back their regular ruckman, who can probably play in a different role.
Yeah, Flynn Dillon can come and play, and I'd put him on the interchange bench. and have him running on whenever you need him and play him in whatever position, because he can play up forward as well. I follow goes the way of Tyler Caddy, gets it further afield, looking up there, finds the hard-running Northampton player there in Bartolo. Ball goes further afield, ball running free, and Clay Sipler, steady as always, kicks the ball back and finds Jaden Schofield. Can Brigades mount something from back pocket? There goes Schofield's kick to brother Kim. Kim Schofield on half-back, kicks it towards the player there, and Jack Perham carries that player, and Jack McQuee saves the day.
Jack McQuee's been a great defender, as we've seen him at the Country Championships. They had a great game last week and continued with that effort today. Then, of course, he took out our best on ground last week as the ball comes forward again for Northampton. Coming inboard to Tyler Caddy. As I said, I liked his game this afternoon. Goes further afield. It looks like Northampton can go forward now through Cripps. He sends it forward. It's not a good kick. Comes off hands and goes over the boundary, I think. So the ball... In fact, let's see what's happened here. Yeah, the ball's gone over the boundary in the half-forward area, or full-forward area for Northampton. Coming in now, players setting themselves. Brigades will have to butter up next week. Who will they butter up to? We'll only be able to tell you that tomorrow afternoon. As you see, a free kick is now going the way of Tyler Caddy, I think.
No, yeah, that's right.
Your man,
yeah.
Your man.
Yeah, he's had a good game this afternoon. He's been a good link man. No, is it Kingsley Smith, is it? Yep.
Yeah, Kingsley Smith.
Peter, and Glenn, I've been following Flynn Dillon on Instagram, or what do you call it, Facebook, so not quite sure if he's quite fit enough at the moment.
Well, Dion Anthony made a return last week. It wasn't a great return, but he still was able to run around, so let's see what can happen. And it is Kingsley Smith that has the ball.
Pretty hard to drop a player out of the Northampton side after the way they've played today, if they're all fit and ready to go.
Kingsley Smith, 25 metres out.
That's the game.
He has missed on this occasion.
No,
he hasn't. He's put it through.
He's got it.
He has sealed the deal, if it hasn't been sealed already. That is Northampton going to, I think it's 10 goals 6. They now lead Brigades 4 goals 6. So it is a 6-goal, 30-point drubbing at the hands of Northampton.
Yeah, marvellous performance from the Rams, and as you say, Northampton haven't played in a grand final for a fair while.
Was that against Towns, the last one, was it?
The last one they won, yes.
It was.
They've got a lot of big fellas, haven't they? You know, you've got Josh and you've got Jack Cripps.
One of the biggest side in the comp, really, aren't they?
Yeah, you've got Harry, Josh, and Callum Tickle. There's a lot of 6-footers plus out there.
That's right, but Brigades aren't short of those either.
No.
They're probably the most equipped side to take on Northampton, but they haven't been too equipped today, it wouldn't appear.
I think you said earlier, Glenn, and Peter, that pressure, they haven't had pressure this year.
Ooh. So free kick will go the way of Cripps. Advantage rule paid, but the umpire will bring it back. So we'll come back and Josh Cripps will get his umpteenth kick this afternoon.
So, Pete, if you were Brigades coach at this stage, what would you be thinking you need to do to return to the status quo in a couple of weeks' time?
Well, I think their forward line has, as Glenn alluded to, that they haven't clicked, and you can't do much about it. They either click or they don't. You know, these are guys, the Indigenous boys either turn on or they don't. I mean, the back line's been good, Sapala and these guys, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, Braden Judd kicks into the half-forward area once again for Northampton. Almost capitulated have Brigades, except for their defence, and Sipler, as you mentioned, has been a consistent performer this afternoon, but there's been few and far between. The ball coming inboard to Champ.
Maybe it's just an anomaly, Pete, and they just haven't played well.
Yeah, well, maybe it's the game that was meant to happen, but the ball going on the far side down. There's Cripps again. Gee, he has been good this afternoon. I think that could be mark number 12 or something, Pete.
Yeah, I think
he's taken a few. Mind you, he has been living in Lilliput, so he is a giant. The ball coming across goes away.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't win the Pud Ross Worthington medal.
And the ball going away Williams. Williams now straight down the middle of the ground. A host of Brigades players, but goes away of Tyler Caddy. Now he kicks it inside the corridor, comes off hands, picked up by JK. He'll spin around on a 50-cent piece, and what's he done? He hasn't scored.
You know the player that's not playing for Northampton today is Bo Walker.
No,
okay.
He is
another player.
He's an interesting out, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's a big out.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Bo has injury issues, and he might be just needing another couple of weeks to get himself right. But I would think Bo Walker would be a player that would come into this side grand final.
So you could see probably, and not picking any names, but young Plusky probably may slip out of contention.
Yeah, well, depending on Harrison, I don't think he's come back on, has he, since that hard knock?
He's had a lot of trouble with that concussion.
Yeah, so he may be in doubt. But, you know, you've got Bo Walker to be considered. You've also got Flynn Dillon to be considered. And it'd be very hard to drop any of these players today for Northampton. They've all been outstanding, unless there's a couple of injuries. Harrison Plusky, we're not too sure about his welfare after that heavy knock early. There may be a few others that are carrying injuries at the moment, of course, as the ball comes back out. But Brigades are in a world of bother at the moment, and they will be preparing for next week, preliminary final. And as Peter mentioned, of course, they come up against the winner of tomorrow's game in the first semi-final, which is between Railways and Rovers. So it'll be a very interesting contest indeed. So Brigades with the work to do. Northampton sitting back very, very pleasantly, waiting for a grand final go in a couple of weeks' time. And we see a Northampton player was tackled high. Braden Jupp, he's done pretty well this afternoon as well. He's had a lot of the ball. So Braden Jupp, certainly a contender as one of the better players. Tyler Caddy, one of your favourites, Peter, and no doubt I can see why, because he just gets so much of the ball. Tyler Caddy plays on quickly, gets it up towards half forward, but nobody there for the Rams on this occasion. The Brigades defence do well, and Brigades defender brings it back across the ground, finds Drew McGregor on half back. McGregor goes with a short pass. Kim Schofield still running. So too is his teammate and brother in Jaden. Jaden Schofield feeds the handball out. Can they get a late goal? Ball goes forward, but once again, the Northampton defence and Jack McQueen stands his ground, and Jack McQueen takes a good solid mark.
He kicks it back to the outer side. Mark is taken at centre wing. Northampton doing the better this afternoon. As we've mentioned, they will be playing in a grand final in a couple of weeks' time.
Glenn, you mentioned earlier, like the Schofield boys are well into their 20s possession, so they're getting the football, but the forward line for Brigades really has been dysfunctional today.
It's interesting, isn't it, when you say, you get a few possessions, because I would not have thought that Jaden had that many possessions.
Yeah,
Obviously, he hasn't been as effective as normal.
He's a leading possession getter on the ground, and his brother is the two of them.
But clearly,
combined.
yeah. But up forward, you've got to give full credit to the Northampton defenders, the Jack McKees, the Jared Woodcocks. Not flashy players, but as defenders do, they go about doing their job, and they've been outstanding.
I think it's mark number 14 for Josh Cripps, Glenn.
At least. So Josh Cripps, he thinks this footy up here, he might come and play here more regularly because he's having a ball.
Well, it's scooters every week.
That's right. There goes the kick from Jack Cripps. Kicks the ball forward, ups the play. And Joshy Kennedy. That's the thing about big men, Peter. They don't get any smaller as the day goes on.
Get slower.
They get slower, but they don't get any smaller. And if they land on you, if Josh Kennedy was to land on you, it'd be the end of you.
It's a great story. It's a great story, boys, isn't it, to see these guys come back to play for their old club. I mean,
it's sensational.
I'm not going to say anything about this kick.
So Josh Kennedy, he hasn't kicked many goals in his career. So let's see how he goes. He's deep on the boundary in the left forward pocket. He's 35 metres out. He's screwed it around. It won't get a goal on this occasion either. It goes straight across the face of goal.
I'll tell you a story. Glenn and I went to watch Josh Kennedy in a game that he was going to kick his 700th goal. We're sitting there for a while, and I said to Glenn, I'm going to go and get a beer. So off I went, and I said, I'll get one for you, Glenn. You don't have to, Pete. I said, I'll get one for you. I had to watch Josh Kennedy kick his big number. Yeah. Standing waiting in the line.
Oh, right.
I didn't get to see it. I was right at our
really?
wasn't it, Glenn?
It was. I got to see it.
He got to see it all right. And he got his beer as well.
The ball goes the way of Northampton, and it goes the way of Jaden Paletti. He's tackled, caught in possession. Brigades have an opportunity. Can they get a score on the board? They haven't really added to their score since three-quarter time with the breeze at their back, which is disappointing for them and their coach. Ball goes forward, and I guess the game is done, and I guess they're still trying, but they're out of their depth this afternoon as Brigades' Jordan O'Brien shoots towards goal. Ball very close to the boundary line. Dale Williamson is tackled, thrown to the ground. Ball goes out of bounds. Boundary umpire throw the ball back in. The ball will be thrown in the right forward pocket.
One thing to think about, Peter and Glenn, also, you've got 2 weeks. Josh might be able to walk by then.
He'll just have to come and do it again.
And that's true. I mean,
that's dead right. Yeah. If he had to play again next week,
that's right.
It would have been the pressure really on him. But the pressure's not now because he's got 2 weeks to have a lot of ice baths and therapy. As the ball goes the way of Jack Perham, who gets a resultant free kick.
Yeah, he's right in front of goals here too, Glenn.
So Jack Perham, who's kicked 1 this afternoon, can kick his second, kick Brigades 5th. So Brigades have kicked 5 goals for a game. The second semi-final, they're disappointed in that. Jack Perham's kicked his second, and on the scoreboard for Active West Real Estate, Brigades go to 5 goals, 6-36, and of course they trail Northampton, who are 10-8-68. So a pretty comfortable margin in the end. We've played 17 minutes in this final quarter, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants, and Northampton have booked a grand final berth, and they'll be playing at WA Country Builders Stadium in a couple of weeks' time in the grand final. Other winners today in minor grades, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. We can tell you that in the Colts, it was a good win to Mullawall, in the reserves, Railways through to a grand final, and in the women, Brigades through to a grand final. So there's a few sides that are pretty happy. Mullawall Colts, Railways reserves, Brigades women, and Northampton league side, they're into the grand final for 2023.
17.5 minutes gone in the final term. As mentioned, Northampton through to a grand final in a couple of weeks' time at WA Country Builders Stadium. Tomorrow, the first semi-final between Rovers and Railways. The winner will meet Brigades as Harry Taylor goes forward now from a nice pass down the field from Tyler Cowdy into the half-forward area. They haven't stopped Northampton, which is good to see. Trev Simpson will be loving it playing alongside Josh Kennedy. And he's had a great day today with the big fella as the ball goes out of the keeping now. Back at centre wing. Cipollow's come right down the ground. Gets it across now to Hayden Johnson. Johnson in turn sends it further afield. He finds a teammate there who moves forward, and Sam Millett into the half-forward area. There's Walker. He gets the ball. He puts it onto his boot. He sends it to the outer side. McGee has been good again today, as I've mentioned.
It's Peter and Glenn. It's hard to see from what we're seeing here how Brigades are going to win a grand final against Northampton. But just from what we've seen today,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, it can be a completely different game to come out differently, but it just looks like very Northampton. I've got the measure at the moment.
I think the big thing that you've identified, Pete, and we both have, as the ball goes to the half-back line, is that they have a superior ruckman, and they've been winning it out of the middle quite convincingly, something Brigades have dominated throughout the season.
And they haven't handled the pressure well. With 50 metres.
Oh, they gave away a free kick there off the ball. So the advantage rule plays up the ground. So Northampton have it through Patolo. Short pass, whistle on play.
Kick the ball
And
long.
advantage rule goes the way. The ball wasn't returned on the full. That would have been a 50-metre penalty, I would have thought. Ball goes forward, goes the way of Jack Perham. Jack Perham, and the Northampton player caught in possession there. Good tackle put on him by Caden Dan. So Brigades at the 20-minute mark of this final term are going to kick their first goal of the quarter, I would think, or second goal of the quarter.
Yeah, Jack Perham got one.
Jack one, so with the second, yeah. So Northampton kicked the first two, then Jack kicked one, and now Caden Dan. That's what he's in the side for, to kick goals.
Yes.
And he's got one. And Brigades get their 6. Brigades go to 6 goals, 6-42. They trail Northampton 10-8, 68. And you're tuned to Radio Mumma, the home of GNFL football. And this final term, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants on Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day.
And as we mentioned earlier on, I was asking you the question, Pete, what would Corey Foote be having to do in the next couple of weeks if he is to return to this particular scenario? And as you said, it doesn't look like they...
Well, you're ruckman, aren't they?
They are. You can't get around that. So he's got to change where he's going to win the game.
Yeah.
And it certainly is in the ruck division. But,
Pete, they've certainly got room for improvement. I mean, as we said, the forward line hasn't functioned. They're completely different out.
They haven't been beaten this year, have they? Have they been beaten this year, Glenn?
Once by Northampton.
Once by Northampton. That's right. That's interesting. So when you haven't been beaten, it's hard to try and improve each week to continue to win, isn't it?
And if you're winning well, a lot of the time, the pressure's not on.
No, the ball coming out of the middle now goes the way of Cale Cripps. A nice kick into the half-forward area. Gee, a beautiful mark. A lovely mark is taken by Harry Taylor. Go Gadget Arms. Harry Taylor, Josh Kennedy.
What's your hammy there, Harry? It's a long way out.
No, I don't think he'll stab at this. He'll be looking for the big fella, I reckon. So Harry Taylor is going for the short kick. Yeah, there he goes.
Harry's got a couple of weeks too to get his body right. So that's a good thing for Harry.
Goes towards Jack Cripps. Cripps couldn't take the mark. The ball going over the boundary. The umpire about to throw it up, in fact. Not far from the goals for Northampton. Up they go. Coming out of the pack. Things are stifled a little bit as things start to slow down here at GBSC Sports Park. The crowd, incidentally, Glenn, has gone very quiet now.
Yeah, they can see the writing on the wall, of course. Northampton through. The Northampton crowd will be ecstatic, so you can guarantee it'll be a big grand final crowd because Northampton will be there. Also, we know that Mullawar will be there with their Colts side. Railways will be there with their reserve side, and Brigades will be there with their women's side. So it's going to be a big grand final day. And, of course, who will be playing Northampton? Will it be Railways? Will it be Rovers? Or will it be Brigades? Can Brigades regroup quickly after a pretty tough day at the office today, it have to be said? They've had 12 scoring shots to 18. And it'd be silly if players were to get suspended this time of the match. The game is done, 22 minutes gone. So the umpires will quickly get involved and can't see a lot there.
Throw the ball up.
So the umpire will throw the ball back in, and boundary umpire will throw the ball in, and play continues here at GBSC Sports Park. Ball goes the way of a Northampton player in Tyler Caddy. The ball is held to him. So once again, the field umpires have done a very good job this afternoon. Umpire Steve Pratt, Brian Baker and Brian Cohen, all in contention for finals footy, and look forward to seeing who's umpiring the games tomorrow out at WA Country Builders Stadium.
That's right, it was on this very ground, Glenn, but in wetter conditions that you saw Northampton narrowly beat Brigades early this year.
It was, yes. As we see the ball comes the way of Kim Schofield, back to Harrison King. So they've turned the ball over, Brigades, and Northampton's Kingsley Smith kicks the ball deep into the forward pocket, looking there for Braden Jupp. But once again, well done to Brigades. Lewin Valley sees the ball across the ground and a boundary throw. In fact, it's Isaac Ronan who sees the ball across the ground, the boundary umpire. So time running out, well and truly for Northampton. 24 minutes gone in this final term. And what a thrilling performance from Northampton. The Northampton big men have starred this afternoon as we see Brigades get a kick forward. Goes the way of Jack Perham. He's got 2 to beat and he does well. Gets in the way of Sandy. Graham Sandy runs towards the 50-metre line. Kicks towards goal. Ball running free. Awkward bounce. Goes the way of the player there in Ryder. Ryder screws the ball around and Ryder has gold. And a very, very good goal, but a belated goal to the Hawks. And that's Christopher Ryder's second goal of the afternoon. And on the Active West Real Estate scoreboard, Northampton are 10-8-68, Brigades are 7-6-48. And you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football, in this final term with thanks to GT Russell, Chartered Accountants.
I'm still miffed of where Jamie Ryder is today, Glenn, because Chris Ryder's a good player, but with his brother, they are a mean machine.
Well, they probably can't fit Caden Dan in and Graham Sandy all the same, so they have opted to go for Caden Dan and Graham Sandy. They can't have too many, but maybe there may be an opportunity next week if the coaches think that that would help.
Well, interesting. Ball back in the middle now as we go into the dying stages of this second semi-final.
Harry's in the ruck.
Harry's moved into the ruck. He's all over the place. Where's Harry?
Big far.
Yep, he's keeps going all game, does BH. And the ball will be thrown up once again. So,
aren't they great blokes to have around? I mean, just quality people. Forget about how good the footballers are. These families they come from, fantastic families, fantastic people giving back to the footy.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff, and it is great to see the ball being bottled up, as you'd expect, in the dying stages of this game. As we said, the work is ahead of Coach Corey Ford in the next week or two. He has to get through the preliminary final yet to get another crack at Northampton, who have moved into the grand final for the first time in a long time. Ball going the way of Braden Jupp, Captain Courageous. He'll be happy for his side today. He's led from the front in the last couple of weeks in the games that I've witnessed, and he certainly will be important as they go into the grand final campaign. The ball will be about thrown up again, just in front of the big crowd here, in front of the club rooms, very quiet club rooms here at Brigades. The ball going the way now of Bertolo. Bertolo goes away of Jupp once again. He swings one way then the other. Sends it inside the corridor, up to take the mark, or a couple of players. They can't do it. The ball comes to ground, goes into space. Brigades defence still working hard. Graham Sandy gets it to Jaden Schofield, and he's away, using his speed, but it hasn't been to the effect of his side today as he runs almost 100 metres and almost kicks a goal as he kicks it toward the big sticks. And unfortunately is inaccurate. 10-18 plays 7-7.
10-8, 68.
8, sorry, apologise.
10-8, 68 for Northampton, 7-7, 49. So, yeah, good effort there from Jaden Schofield. He went for goal. He had nothing to lose as we see Northampton bring the ball back into play. Up goes Cripps, couldn't mark it on that occasion. Ball falls the way of Harrison King. King throws it on his left boot, kicks it up towards half forward. The Brigades players there working hard. Jack Perham thrown to the ground, and the boundary umpire will come to throw the ball in. 27 and a half minutes gone in this final term, and Northampton are through to the 2023 grand final, and they've done it pretty well. Pretty powerful performance from the Rams this afternoon. Josh Cripps slaps the ball forward, picked up by Henry Perham. He kicks the ball forward, but there's the siren. Full time in the 2023 second semi-final of the GNFL Premiership season, and Northampton are grand final bound. Northampton 10-8, 68. They lead Brigades 7-7, 49. And you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.